Hi, I'm James. Welcome to Slaying Sober, where we tell stories of addiction, recovery, and hope. Wherever you are on your sober journey, know that you do not stand alone. G'day, Sammy. Welcome back to Slaying Sober, my man. Lovely to see you again.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. It's so good to be on after what was it, 4 or 5 weeks ago? We were lucky enough to have that long conversation about our history.
It was a beauty, mate, and we got some really great feedback about it. So I thought it's coming into Christmas, and I thought it was a really good time of the year to have a bit of a Christmas edition and a bit of a chinwag about the festive period.
What a great idea. Well, I just had my work Christmas show, so I've got plenty to share about my experience just recently. So should
Awesome.
be fun.
We'll delve into that in a bit. What about as a bit of a recap from the last chat that we had? Um, Geez, it was great to hear from some of the walkabout crew and get some feedback from them.
Yeah, lots of different stories came through, and then I think the funniest one that was mentioned was the download, which I'd forgotten about, which was a best on ground drinking story. So you can articulate it better than me.
Well, I think what we did was the down low medal was when we'd have a big staff event and there would be a vote count at the end of the night with a 3, 2, 1, just like the Brownlow medal, for who was best on ground in the drinking stakes. And it got to the point where there was some creatives there and they drew up a bit of a form guide and some odds about it. And I think yours truly was odds on favourite most times, going around as a short
Heavy
price favourite.
favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, but
You were
look,
unbackable at one point.
yeah, look, I had a good trot there. Line cleans were the other one. Do you remember what those when
Yeah,
they
I
used to
do.
clear the beer lines out? And
Yeah.
we had I think it was 8 or 12 sets of taps, and that all had 5 or 6 beers on there. So I think they had to pull through a few hundred beers to clear the lines out, and they either went down the sink or we were able to drink them.
They
So
definitely didn't go down the sink.
they did not. They
They
did
never
not.
went to waste.
But also, it was really lovely to hear from some people that were really touched about our stories as well. Like there was concern, there was empathy, there was love. Um, there were people asking whether they thought that they played a part in it,
Yeah, that was interesting.
which I thought,
Because I take full responsibility for my own actions. I think
yep.
when I heard, when a mate reached out and said, "I'm sorry that I played a part," in it, I was thinking, "Don't be sorry. These memories were amazing."
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, absolutely. Without glamorizing them, and also did
Certainly
hear
not.
from a guy as well that said like, "Thank you for guys for being so brave." Um, I'm aware of my drinking behaviours and my drinking habits, and that I think I need some help for it. So I've been in dialogue with him as well. So it's been the full gamut, and a lot of people having a laugh about it as well, which is part of what we're trying to do.
I'm so glad that people can see the funny side to it because we obviously do take this very seriously
Mm.
now. And the fact that you were able to find someone on the other end that was able to reach out and then you were able to help them, I think is really cool. And I feel really proud to be, helping at least one person sort of address
Yeah,
their issues.
yeah, exactly right. And that doesn't mean that we're going to resolve it, right?
Of course not.
Or that I
But
know
it's
I'm not
that
the only.
dialogue. It's just starting the dialogue, and that's always the hardest
100%.
part. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, particularly for young guys as well. So,
Yeah, sure.
really proud that we've had some great feedback already. So it's
Yeah,
been
yeah,
good.
it's awesome. Credit to you, James.
Thank you, and also to you, my friend. Now, I'm really intrigued to hear about your Christmas party.
Yeah.
Let's talk it through. I think when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, we had some grand ideas about let's try and really talk through how good fun it can be and how easily it can be done. Tell us about your experience.
Okay, so I went in super confident. I think the number one thing that I do now with a lot of venues, and I think if you are recently AF or even a few years in, like I'm sort of approaching, I call up the
Hmm.
venue every time just to find out if they have the drink that I enjoy. Because I feel like if they don't have the drink that I enjoy having, then
Hmm.
I like to bring it along and pay a corkage. It's not about, I'm not trying to save money or try and get a free ride. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that, I can fit in and feel comfortable with what I'm doing. So I called ahead and asked them if they had my drink, which is my Guinness Zero Zeros.
Yep.
And
That's your go-to.
yeah, that's my go-to, James. And they did have it, which was fantastic. So I drank them all night. It started a lot of dialogue every single time because a lot of people offered to buy me drinks because I'd set up the sound for the night.
Yep.
And as soon as they bought one, it was the same question every time: Why are you not drinking? Yada yada. And
Mm.
I went into it super confident. I wanted to go the other way and just be really proud of what I've been able to achieve, rather than
Yes.
I think early on in my sobriety. I don't know if you did this, James. I would sort of make excuses and go, oh, well, I guess, I need to do it and whatever. Whereas now it's just like, well, this is just a decision I've made. I'm really proud of it. And, I don't
Yeah.
really feel like drinking. And it sort of shuts down any further questions.
Mm.
You do certainly get a few looks as if to say, oh, okay. And it almost, they feel a little bit obsolete, but I certainly don't want anyone to feel any level of embarrassment or, feel any different. But that was just the way
So,
that I wanted to do, which was confidence.
so tell me how that looks. You go and get a Guinness Zero, and I say to you, Sammy, why aren't you drinking tonight?
So I just say I don't drink alcohol. So I just flat out shut it down at the source,
Yep.
and it's followed up. It's always followed up by a why, and I just say I just
Mm.
don't enjoy it at all.
Yep.
And as I said to you, I would always come up with like an excuse or even tell a story. But I just don't feel like anyone needs to know my story. If they want to ask me in a
Yeah.
private moment, I'm more than happy to sit down and be as candid like you are
Yeah.
about it. But in a Christmas party situation, I'm not going to go into depth about it. I just want to
Yes.
say, that's not what it's not for me, and then move on, and then I'll just literally move to the next conversation. And for me personally, that worked really well, and I feel like it did open some eyes as well in terms of what
Mm.
we're doing. And then I had a few people go, "Yeah, I don't really drink that much." Or have you ever had that before, where you have people talk about their own habits when you just mention that you don't
Um,
drink?
it's very interesting that you say that because I tackle it with a bit more in a different way where I say I'm in recovery. I
Sure.
don't drink. I can't. I might even say I used to, but I can't anymore, as a bit of an icebreaker or whatever. And it's interesting. The people that say that are sort of confrontational about it or elusive about it, often you can see their mind racing over with like, oh, like, do I have a problem? Or like, do I drink too much? Or like, they'll
Yeah.
be like, oh, why not? Why not? Why not? And it's like a reflection of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's
and
certainly not
see,
how I'm trying to portray it, but I'm glad. I'm really glad that it does open dialogue because it's not about judging anyone, but it's quite the opposite to that. But it does
yes.
make people reflect. And what I wanted to say was, I ended up driving one of my staff members home. Well, obviously won't
Mm,
mention. And
yep.
at the end of it, she said to me, "I really want to stop. Can you help me?" So
Yeah.
it's one of those moments that you
Yeah.
had the other week where I just knew that you know, through nothing extraordinary on my own part, had just
Yes.
been myself and just gone out and just not drank for an incredibly, there was a lot of drinks flowing,
Mm,
and she had felt the need to reach out and ask a few questions, and we've been in contact ever since about it. So
yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
but that confidence there was really good. Finding out your own drinks at the bar and just standing behind your decision. And the final one I wanted to say was stay out as late as you possibly can. That
Yeah. Yeah.
is that is something that I really challenged myself to, and I'm not going to lie, that was really really hard. But I stayed out
Yes.
till midnight, and everyone was loose by the end of the
Yep.
night. And I wanted to go home, but I was like, "You've committed," and I stayed out till 12 till when it
Yeah. Yeah.
shut. So I still
So
did my standard thing, just AF.
yeah. Yeah, very good. Proud of you, mate. And did you have fun?
I had my ups and downs. So when I first got there, it
Yeah.
was it was great. I was having a really good time, and then about midway through the night, I had a bit of a weak point. Not that I wanted to start drinking again, but I could notice that people were having more fun than me, and then I did start to get a bit jealous. I was
Mm,
like, they're having more fun than me. And then slowly from 9:30 till 10:30, the shots came in and the decline went. And then I went, oh,
yes.
that's why, James. That's
Yeah.
why I don't drink. And and
Mm.
if I'll say to anyone listening, if you are going to a Christmas party, just wait for that 1 hour, that golden hour, like that I'd like to call it, where you just see the decline. And that is the moment where you know you've made the right decision.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like what we said last time. Like there's this period of drinking, there's the start and there's like a really fun middle bit, but then
Yeah.
the end just jump
Yeah.
like the lemmings going off a cliff,
Yeah. Yeah.
I find that there seems to be like a certain time of the night as well where I know when it's time for me to go. And you're having your annual Christmas party that you're talking about. I think it's when you become socially aware that there's a particular time of the night where it might be 10:30, it might be 11:30, depending on the event, but it's like I'm out of here. People are if they're bailing me up, talking absolute shit. Become really like their self importance is coming out. They're talking a lot more than they're listening. It's like, what value do I get from staying here apart from being like, I'm sober and I'm still here? Look at me,
Yeah, I know
Exit
that.
stage left.
I know that there's no value to it, but I still think you should take it on yourself as a bit of a challenge. Not always, but this
Yeah.
was just the 1 year. Maybe next year I won't do it, but just for
Yeah.
this year, I think it's nice to challenge yourself, and you've got to know where you are in your journey.
Mm.
I'm 18 months in, so I feel comfortable. Maybe last year I wouldn't have stayed out as late, but yeah,
Yeah.
I still had fun, and it's nice to see. All these people that you know sort of letting their hair down and knowing that you're going to
Yeah.
feel better than them in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yes. So did you wake up all proud of yourself the next
Yeah, I
morning
did.
thinking,
Yeah, I
I
was
feel
really proud of
fresh
myself.
as fuck?
Yeah, yeah. And you get that sort of arrogance about you where you want to call them and say, "Hey, let's go out for coffee." And I never thought I'd be at this stage of my life.
What
What a
what became
wanker.
of the likely lad?
I know, I know. No,
Yeah.
I certainly don't want to rub it in. I know it may be coming across that way, but you do have to be proud of yourself because it is hard.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a mission, but yeah, we're coming into this festive season, and there are going to be a lot of tempting times. And just make sure that you're around people that are like minded, and you can reach out to like yourself and have a chat.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, so I've got my Christmas party tomorrow, my work
Oh,
Christmas
okay.
party.
So tell us about it. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good. So it's my business. I've got 9 staff. So I have organised it. And and I like that because I know where I can. I like being in control, given that I may wish to exit at any stage, and I want to feel comfortable and know what's coming up and going on next. So,
Sure.
our work Christmas parties have been notoriously large. Bit of a joke about like there's an HR disclaimer of what happens at the Christmas party stays at the Christmas party,
Yeah.
and we'll all come back to work on Monday and not look at anyone else in the eye.
Of course.
But like last year we actually flew up to the Gold Coast and we went to all the theme parks, and that was really really great, and that was my first sober Christmas party. So this year we're doing a bit of a around Melbourne thing, so we're sort of going to be on a boat on the river. We're going to a really nice place for lunch, a French restaurant, and then we're going to a burlesque show at sort of 6 o'clock at night. And so I think it's like there's a few things going on. We're sort of moving a bit. It's not just being stuck in one place. Um,
I think that's
and
nice.
yeah,
I
and
think that's
finishes with a
nice.
show as well. So it's
Yeah,
like a bit of
yeah,
entertainment. It's not just about us,
yeah.
it's about what we're watching. So I'm really excited for it. It's going to be a really beautiful day, 30 degrees here in Melbourne. But I did something tonight that was I don't know whether it was outside of my comfort zone, but I visited a very old friend of mine, and his name is Dan, and he's got a big green face, Dan Murphy, because I had to fill up the eskies for tomorrow for this boat trip. Or, um,
Oh,
yeah. So I
Temptation
say,
Island.
yeah, well, I say that I had to. As I left the office, I sort of said to everyone, what would they like to drink tomorrow? And they were actually really lovely because they know my story. And they said, well, don't be silly. We'll go and do it. And da da da. I said, no, like, it's okay. I'm good. So, but when you're also in there trying to arrange drinks for 10 people and they all drink certain things, it's not just like going in to grab the missus a bottle of champagne and getting out the door. It was like that. I was like in there for 15 minutes, sort of like, oh, would they like this or would they like that? And, you know, and then I sort of, my mind would go, oh, this is what I would do, or how much would we need to drink? And of course, it's like triggering of like,
Yeah.
I was buying seltzers and stuff like that, and like hard solos,
I
like
was going to
hard
say,
sol.
did you walk past the hard solos? Because that was your
I
jam back in the day.
Well, a hard solo was the last drink that I
That was the
drank.
final, yeah.
Yeah, in the car in the morning on the way to rehab. So, like, it brings up these feelings, um, but I'm emotionally sober, and I got out of there, and I was straight on the phone to one of my sponsees in my 12-step program who. I'm obviously helping, but he is helping me as well. And it's just levels everything out, So um, I feel good and I feel confident, and I'm really looking forward to it. Of
I've just
course,
got a few questions for you about the party, if that's
yeah,
all right.
go.
So, in terms of if anyone behaved like we did, do you think there'd be any judgment from your part, like knowing what we used to get up to and how you behaved?
I think one of the things I struggle to tolerate sober is just that sort of that arrogance and that kind of that real sort of sense of self-importance that some people get when they've been drinking. It's just something that I have never liked, and I
Mm,
don't think. Um, Actually, I was going to say I don't think I get like that, but what the fuck would I know?
yeah,
When I was drunk, but
I'm the
yeah,
same.
just that arrogance and that self importance, is pretty hard to deal with, particularly if I'm on a boat on the Yarra River. Like, I hope they can swim fast
Yeah,
because man overboard.
yeah,
But
sure.
look, that's probably the main behaviour, really. We're sort of and behavior of others as well. Like, I get like I'm pretty hypersensitive to how other people treat women when they're out and stuff like that. And like guys on dance floors with loose lips and touchy arms and all of that. It just gets a bit too much. I don't really like to put myself in that position. But generally, like, I think they're good people, so it should be a really fun day, and I feel comfortable with that.
I'm excited for you.
The other thing is, in terms of Christmas parties, 2 years ago, um, my Christmas party was still when I was in active addiction, and it was like my final hurrah, I think I would say. And I made a promise to my family that I would leave the Christmas party at a certain time and set like a boundary upon that. So this is a bit over 2 years ago, and I was still like charging around, having a great time, and also I thought, um, and behaving riskily and whatnot. And I left that party at 6 o'clock. That was the rule that I had, and I was home by 6:30. And I got home and I sent a text message to my parents and to my wife to say that I was home and I was safe, and I'd called it a night. I didn't, in fact, call it a night. I kept partying, into the beers and into the bag. But what I did do that night was I sent a text message to about 25 of my mates, and it was a bit of a sort of coming out as that I had a problem with alcohol. And I basically wrote to them and said, dear fellas, alcohol is taking away more than what it's giving me. And I need to seek help, and my behaviour towards my family hasn't been acceptable. And on Monday, I'm checking into rehab. So yeah, so it sort of brings up a lot of feelings this time of year as well. But
Yeah, that's some
um,
heavy emotions.
and little
How
did I
how
know,
how are you coping?
yeah, like I'm good. Like I'm in a really good place, so I can talk about that now. And I only started thinking about that. It was my 2 year anniversary a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. And it's a real time for reflection, and you look back to where I was then. Um, I've spoken about this before, but I was really hopeless, and I don't think I wanted to die, but I certainly didn't want to live, is probably the best way
yeah,
of putting it. And just, yeah, I was very numb. And so to see where I am now and to be able to, I actually only found that text message, over the last couple of weeks. I hadn't thought about it for a very, very long time. Um, and it's strange to look back at and think that I would never drink again, from after
yeah,
sending that message, because the amount of times that I've said to myself or my direct family, I'm never drinking again, you know,
yeah,
but to actually put that out to the world, um, I don't know why I did that. I feel like it was some sort of God job that made me get that out. And I think I felt if I spread that out to many, many people, that I have to be accountable to
yeah,
it.
yeah. You made yourself accountable. I've got to ask, what was the response like? What was the consensus?
Yeah, well, I think I put on the response like, don't call me, I've got to now look at myself and work myself out. I do recall that there were some people that were a bit probably shocked, I suppose. Like, oh, we knew you were a party boy, but we didn't know that this was such an issue for you. There were other people that just said, well done, congratulations, all the best. There was a bit of silence as well, which I didn't expect any different.
Sure.
Yeah, people sort of taking it in their own way, but all of those people I've obviously seen and spent time with, and they probably, some of them might have needed to see me prove myself as well, because the end of the day, like towards the end of my addiction, I was pretty unreliable. Like I wasn't
So it
able to
could have
show
been.
up.
We've heard this all before. That would have been shuffling through a few minds.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so. Like I think the way that I wrote it was pretty seriously written. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't just a drunken message, Like I was pretty poignant in what I was saying. Um, I must say that was the start of a 3 day bender that I sort of continued to stay on
oh,
and went out for
I
three
shouldn't laugh, but
days.
that's so funny.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
like
I can't help it.
yeah, and I did all sorts of like like drove up to the city and back, and like all very very poor behaviours that I just absolutely don't accept
Yeah,
now. But that was part of it. The final hurrah that weekend was
that was the retirement tour.
the
The
actual
retirement tour.
retirement. Yeah, yeah, exactly right, exactly right.
Oh, I'm sorry to make fun of it. I'm really not.
Nah,
I'm
no,
not
no,
laughing.
it,
I'm not laughing at the seriousness of the issue. I'm just saying the fact you had a 3 day bender after that. It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
knowing you
Well,
so well. It's such a good way to go out, because
well, yeah,
that's just
like
your personality. It's all or nothing, and I think
yeah.
that's important for people to know. Is if you have that switch that you can't turn off, then this is just something that you have to really have a look at and rethink.
Yeah. And it's funny looking at it now, but like some of the shit that I did that weekend, I won't go into it in massive detail, but like I was driving around for 2 days. Like I more or less like was very fucking dangerous. Like I could have died. So it's somewhat a fucking miracle. Like as funny as it is, it's also fucking really sad and shameful in a lot of ways as well. As well. But I'm here.
Yeah.
So Sammy, tell us about what Christmas looks like for you and your family.
Yeah, so James, it's exactly the same. I still get up at 10 a.m. and do mimosas now, except I just use a Burge alcohol-free Prosecco. And
Yep.
it's funny because I very proudly took it to an event the other day where my sister was. And I said, check this out. It's alcohol-free. And she said, it's absolutely rubbish, which I thought was funny. It probably is garbage. And when you just want to believe
Yeah.
it's good because, you know, you've been to my place. We're right near the famous Barossa wine region and the Clare Valley, and I've had some of the best wines going around. And I thought
Yeah.
I'd found a winner there, but it doesn't matter because I like it. And,
Yes.
you're mixing it with juice anyway, so it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
So I still have my mimosas. My other half, Shay, she has a champagne, but she can have one. And
Yep.
she has one, and it's really good, and I really enjoy the experience. So a lot of people obviously don't like to delve down the non-alc drinks, but I'm a massive fan, especially on occasion. So in terms of Christmas Day, that's a really big one for me because I was a massive drinker. I'd always be a passenger in the vehicle. I'd
Mm,
always be lit. Never really make a dick of myself, but I was always, struggling to stand up by the end of the day. So,
yeah.
and Boxing Day was a write off.
Yeah, yeah. Watching the cricket, a few
Yeah,
beers.
watching the cricket. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We Christmas Eve was always a big one for us. So that was like where we'd have our direct family around. So
How
that
would
was
that
really
play
good.
out?
Oh, look, it was a lot of champagne, and I think I got through on Christmas cheer alone. Um, but then obviously, like as the kids got a bit older, like that became a later and later night as I was, decorating, presenting, getting everything ready. And, there'd often be like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, man. And then the kids are up at, 5, 6. And I remember like I'd always get to Christmas and we'd have a couple of champagnes in the morning and all of that and sort of try and like, then you'd be sort of cleaning up, putting Christmas lunch out for the rest of the family. I remember sitting down at Christmas lunches on Christmas Day, and we'd do this buzz around, put everything on the table, and I'd be the last one to sit down because I'd make sure that everyone was happy and set. And as I'd sit down, I'd crack myself whatever I'm drinking, and always, without fail, my dad would look across the table at me and he'd go, "You look exhausted." I was like, it's because I fucking am,
Yeah.
Like I've been dad, I've been sort of Christmas cheering all month. I'm fucking Santa Claus. Like, it's been a big time. It's been a big time of the year for me. I am proper exhausted.
And what about the last Christmas? How was that different for you?
We've changed it around a little bit. I was like, as well as obviously not drinking, but trying to conserve energy because I want to be able to see the kids like unwrap their presents and their toys and go and play with them and get out in nature. And so the last few have still been early mornings, and there's still like a coffee in the morning for me. And there'll be a point, some point mid morning where we all sort of retire, and the kids will either be hyped up enough to play and stay up, but we'll try and get an hour or half an hour's rest and have a bit of a sleep. And then we usually now try and go down the beach in the afternoon. So the wife will take a bottle of champagne down there, and I'll take either my favourite non-alc drink or
Yeah, because I
whatever
haven't
it
asked you
is.
about that. Yeah, so what's your go-to drink for the festive season
Well,
or in general?
why don't we do between us our top three alc-free go-tos?
I like it. You want to go
I'll
first?
start at num. I'll start at. Well, why don't we both? If we go number three, so I'm going to say an alcohol-free beer of
Yeah.
sorts. I'd say maybe a little craft beer.
Got
Heaps
ya.
normals are pretty easy go to, but any of those sort of craft alcohol free beers because they can be enjoyed on a hot day after mowing the lawns, playing a game of football, or drinking with your mates in a pub.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go specific. I definitely like heaps normal. There's another one called Yeah Nah, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't
nah,
know if you've heard of
that
Yeah Nah.
very
There's a few.
Australian.
It is. And there's one called, it's actually spelt Tiny, tiny, but it's pronounced tinny.
Yep.
It's
Okay.
really, really good. So, yeah, that's going to be in there for me.
Number two, I'm going to go with. You might not have heard of this, but it's called Etch Sparkling. Now they're
I'm
a
going to have to
Mornington
write this
Peninsula.
down.
Yeah, they're a Mornington Peninsula company, and I met them, the founders, quite recently. So Andy and Jason, and Jason, I've yet to delve into it, but he's got a sober anniversary around the same time as me.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm
so
trying to hear
cool.
his story. Yeah, and funnily, like out of coincidentally, I ran into them at my son's Christmas concert a couple of weeks ago, and their children go to the same school as my children.
There you
So
go. Small world.
it's just a small world. But they use like native ingredients and indigenous ingredients, and it's a real like fuck off like proper like fancy drink to have. So Etch Sparkling is my number two go to.
I'm going to go, honestly, I'm going to go and grab a couple bottles once we wrap up here. Yeah, I've got to say Grant Burge. I've banged on about it. We should be getting sponsored. It's their Prosecco is fantastic. There's not a lot of space. There's not a lot of choice in the white wine market or sparkling market. So I really hope a lot of brands come out with it. But for now, that is my number two.
Perfect. Number one for me
Yeah.
is a Coke Zero. It's
Ah,
my
there you go.
go-to. It's my go-to. I love
How
it.
many Coke Zeros can you put away?
Yeah, look, the digestive system doesn't go great, but I reckon two's probably enough.
Yeah, I agree. I
Two in the
like the
first hour and one
one
every
every
hour
hour after
thereafter.
that. Follow the booze rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Officer,
Right.
I only had 8 Coke Zeros. Oh, that is
And
funny.
yourself?
Well, I think you should probably have a guess. I've banged on about it enough, haven't I?
Um, Go. Oh,
Number one goes the Guinness 0.0,
the Guinness Zero, of course.
which
Well
very,
done.
very proudly has overtaken, which I'm happy to announce here, it's overtaken its alcoholic brother in global sales just recently.
Really?
How's that for a fact? Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So that's a phenomenal factor here. So for such a big brand like Guinness,
Yeah.
to globally be overtaken in their non-alc product, it shows that there is plenty of room in this space. And I hope a lot of other brands get on board because there is customers out there.
Yeah, I actually still haven't tried it, so I've got to do that.
My God.
That might be my my mission tomorrow on my Christmas party is to find one of those.
Yeah, please let me know how you go. It's just
I've got to,
it's just the closest that thing you can find. Like I just honestly feel like I'm drinking a beer, so it's a win for me.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. I've got to give a big shout out to H2O, the cloud juice.
Yeah.
That sadly didn't make the top three, probably because it's been around forever. It's too easy to go to and maybe a
Yeah.
bit boring, but I do love water. Room
Yeah.
temperature.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
that's true. Yeah, water's good, but it also, especially at the staff shows or any event, it brings up a lot of questions. So that's why I prefer just to have a drink. It avoids those
Yeah.
questions. That's the main
having
thing.
something in your hand.
But you
There's
are
something
bang
about
on.
like having something in your hand as well. Keeps you
Well,
a bit
I
busy, I
feel like I
guess.
don't know about you, but I'm always been fidgety. I've been a fidgety child. I always struggle,
Yeah.
and for me, yeah, just having a drink. Even when I was a kid, obviously it was water back then, but yeah, just
Mm.
always had to have something in my hand. So agree.
Yep.
Well,
Um.
I'm
Ne-
really excited about your Christmas party, and I really hope you do a follow up to this as well. I'd love to chat more about it.
yeah. 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 Well, I reckon one thing I was thinking about is um, top tips for thriving in a Christmas party. So I've written down four here
Okay,
that I was thinking about. For maybe someone newer in their sober journey, and
sure,
so I'll go through them. So in no particular order, I think number one would be for me is to tell someone in advance that you're not drinking. So
good,
whether that's a buddy at work that can help keep you accountable throughout the day, or perhaps it's something that you want to address with a boss or a manager and say, "Hey, I just want to let you know this is where I'm at," and set a really clear boundary that I won't be drinking on the day.
fantastic. I love it. Number
Number
three,
two,
number two. Sorry.
I will I would say to have an exit strategy. How am I going to get out of this? Do I need to drive there so I can get in a car and leave? Am I going to get someone to come and pick me up at a certain time? Or even just knowing where the exits are. Where's the closest public transport? Where's the closest taxi rank? Because if I don't feel comfortable, I'm going to pull that ripcord and get out of here.
Great.
I'm going to say number three is be prepared. Like you said before, the venue that you went to, you made sure that it had your chosen alcohol free beverage, your go to. Even think about, there are like sometimes at these sorts of events where it's a set menu or whatever, it's, beer, wine, and spirits is what it is. So you might have to be creative there on either getting them to make sure that they've got some. Again, that comes back to speaking to the organisers of it. What is my alcohol free options? Can you prepare something for me? I want an alcohol free beer. You fully should be able to demand or ask for that. Or I'm going to have two Coke Zeros and that's what I'm going to drink, to be as prepared as you can in advance. I am on my Christmas party tomorrow. I've bought a 4-pack of alcohol free beers. So when I'm sitting in the sun on a boat, I can still have a beer and say cheers to my workmates.
That's brilliant, James.
And the fourth one, controversially, with what you said earlier, don't go.
I was
If
just going to say
you
that.
if you don't feel comfortable, if you're in early recovery, I bet you've pulled a sickie before. If you don't show up to your Christmas party, it is not the end of the world. And you can do that because you don't feel well enough without any excuse, or you can be really transparent and say, I'm sorry, boss, I'm not up to this at this stage. You could, explain that for mental, physical health, or have no explanation at all and proudly not go.
That is fantastic because I was just going to go down that route because I was going to say if you had a hypothetical and someone came to you like that, what would you say? So you've just answered it. That,
Yeah, look, I
that's
mean,
brilliant, mate.
yeah, and look, perhaps there's disappointment, like because people want to thank their staff, or there's a cost associated, or whatever. Um, but the cost of having someone unwell is a lot more,
Yeah,
you know.
agreed.
So I think it's a perfectly legitimate tip for thriving this Christmas at your work Christmas party or any Christmas party for that matter.
Yeah, yeah. That's some good nuggets of wisdom there.
The other thing I acknowledge as well that Christmas is a really beautiful time of year. Do you get right into it?
Yeah, I do. I love Christmas, and especially having a young kid. So my daughter's 2.5
Yeah.
now. So she got her Christmas dress arrived today, and she's been dancing in it all
Yeah.
afternoon. We've heard the whole Taylor Swift album 5 times, the new record. I know all the lyrics. So
I bet you do.
yeah, I'm very festive with most celebrations, and that's why Ark
Yep.
obviously played a huge part in my life. But
Mm,
I'm really really excited, and I'm excited to do it for my second time around. So is this your second or
yeah.
third?
This will be my third.
This
Yeah,
is your
third
third.
Christmas. Yep.
So and to get around it sober, I'm just more excited, and I'm more proud of myself, James,
Yeah.
and knowing that I can wake up, enjoy it, and just have a really fun day and get around to a lot of these events. We've got a bit of driving to do. And I remember, I don't know about you, but I used to hate the driving back in the day when I was drinking. It was always like, because we'd get Ubers and it would cost a fortune. And now I'm proud to drive. I love it. I love
Yeah.
having the trek with the family and just seeing the reactions from everyone. And once again, knowing that I'm going to wake up feeling fresh, ready to watch the cricket for the Boxing Day Test
Yes.
match.
Which we can't wait for. I was thinking of something earlier, and I've written this down. That Christmas for me now is about presence with a C. Being present with my family, not about presents that are wrapped up and under the tree.
Oh my God. That is brilliant.
Do you reckon that's a
Um,
good place to
that
wind
is
up?
that is absolutely fantastic, mate. Just every time you just smashed it.
I don't know about that, but we'll get there.
I feel honoured to be in your presence and hearing your different tips on the Christmas period, because I know it's a tough time for a lot of people out there for many different reasons. So thanks for sharing
Yeah,
this
it
all with me
is.
and having me back on. I love it.
Nah, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. And with that as well, like I acknowledge that Christmas can be a difficult time for people. There's people that don't necessarily have family around them, or people that don't have great family relationships. It can be a really tough time. There's financial
Yeah,
implications. There's consumerism. There's loneliness. There's all of these sorts of things. And particularly in addiction as well, it can be a really fucking lonely place. I've been speaking with a few guys that are estranged from their families, estranged from their children at this time of the year. Um, Reach out. There's other people in these circumstances. Reach out to myself. Reach out to your friends. There are other people that are going through it. You don't have to do it alone. There's some amazing organisations out there as well that can help feed mouths, and be an ear there as well. So a lot of love to those that are doing it tough as well.
yeah, agree.
Lots of love to you, man. It was beautiful to catch
Yeah,
up, and
thank you so much for the chat, and Merry Christmas to you and your family. I really hope you guys
oh,
have the best time, and please feed back to me your Christmas party stories, and I look
oh,
forward to hearing about your New Year journeys.
yeah. Well, that's the next one, mate. Is the new year we'll set up and have a chat about that, because I've got a whole nother rabbit hole to go to there about keeping inventory and looking at what next year brings. So all the best, Sammy. Great to catch up as always, and lots of love to you and your family, bro.
Thank you, Jimmy. Much love, brother.
See you, man.
See ya.